A pretty dramatic win there by LoL Pro. I mean, right off the bat, Kubz, I want to talk about the fact that you mentioned in the last segment needing a split pusher and an assassin mid. They went with it. They got the win. So is that something that they can now repeat 2 more times in order to take this series?
I mean, if they get Nidalee and Zed again, I'm not quite sure. The thing is, like, that play, like the way Lod played on Zed was phenomenal, and Hanser getting Nidalee was ridiculous. I think they can mirror it possibly with different champions. I think we could get maybe a couple other assassins, but overall, I think there's no way they get those 2 champions again. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially the Nidalee pick. I think that's just too highly prized by both teams. I don't think it's going to get through. And we have a clip of exactly why the first blood. Let's bring this one up, put that up on your screen. Now, Nidalee, even level 1, she can get a 30% speed bonus if she's in the bush or if she even marks you. And Hanser does both. So let's roll this clip. The classic Nidalee goes for the tri-bush wait, actually finds Rux trying to ward for it, so it's even better than just waiting in the tri-bush because he's even more extended. And easily, he uses the bush move speed, plus he gets the mark, starting Q. There's nothing that you can do to get away from that. And we've seen it actually happen several times. Inox was talking about it when we talked about him before the LCS games. He was always like, yeah, I really want to play Nidalee. I've killed people in these scrims so many times at level 1 that I'm not even allowed to do that anymore because they have to reset all the scrims.
Yeah, I feel like that first blood made that lane so free for Hanser that I feel like Coach should have lane swap, but that was a ridiculous.
It forced him into this weird build for Lulu. Really defensive build. Even when going against all AD, like the Rod of Ages into a Zanya. It's very, very defensive.
Yeah. No Morellonomicon, no death cap, just full-on defense. You know, Lulu was basically an ult, but as we saw at the end, just regardless of the defensive build, she was still getting one shot by Zed.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing about that clip, what it shows, is the fact that LoL Pro came into that game looking for blood, right? They kind of got stomped in the first game, but they weren't afraid to turn it around, try something new, and, you know, go ham. So that, you know, props to them for that. We then watched them get a fair lead there, but things slowed down in the mid game as Santorin actually focused a lot top.
Yeah.
What could have LoL Pro done knowing that Nunu was top the entire time?
There was like 4 minutes where Santorin just sat top because he had to. Otherwise, this Nidalee was going to get out of control. From LoL Pro's side, like when it's like that obvious where the jungle pressure is being allocated, they wanted to look to the other side of the map, whether that means getting like more vision control of the jungle, of Coast jungle, or just like getting the tier 1s down faster and getting more pressure. When there's 2 people top, you're going to have more people on the other side of the map, you know? So it's just a matter of playing the map correctly, and I think LoL Pro, when they eventually did it, you saw the results of towers and good fights, but they didn't do it fast enough, in my opinion. So
There were definitely some mistakes to be cleaned up there, but they're happy with the end result. Relying on the 2 extremely strong split pushers, they finally are able to pull it out, regardless of Yasuo with exhaust, bringing up some problems for them.
Well, and they definitely utilized a bit more of objective control this game. We're actually going to bring up another replay here about 22 minutes in. It's a 4-for-1 in favor of LoL Pro. Kubz, if you don't mind, this is in the Dragon River. I'm going to have you walk us through this one.
yeah, so a couple things to look at is, first off, Kog'Maw doesn't have a lot of mana, and he has Triforce, so he's not going to put out as much damage. And there's really good vision control by LoL Pro. So we can go ahead and start this clip. It goes ahead and starts with Heaven Time. Can we roll?
We can go ahead and roll the clip.
Yeah. So Heaven Time gets caught a little bit here. He jumps out, which is great. Coast starts to chase really hard. And at this point, Lod's just looking for an entry. He throws out his Shadow, and even though Heaven Time dies to the Yasuo ult, Lod picks up 1 kill, and then he's allowed to Deathmark Golden Glue, come back over, and even with Exhaust, all that damage goes off. And at this point, it's just cleanup duty. The Zillion ult also went off on Kog'Maw, by the way, so that is something we want to point out. At this point, Mashby's trying to run, and he just can't. And then Santorin, he tries to run under the tower as well for some reason. I don't know why he stuck around. And this is just beautiful tower aggregate. But Toy does a great job tanking as much as he can because of the low health bars. And at that point, it was just beautiful team fight by LoL Pro and accelerated the lead.
Yeah, that Zillion pick really shines through when the enemy uses their Yasuo ult and compromises the position of both their AD carry and their mid carry right there. There's no coming back from that.
They just die.
All right, so final question. We expect to see either the Nidalee or the Zed banned or picked away, so they're not going to get that composition. What else, though, can Coast do to get back to where they were in the first game, where they were kind of able to roll over them in the early game and carry that lead into the late?
I don't think it's even draft-based for Coast. I think we saw them lose yesterday and tilt horribly after that against Teammate, because that was their first loss as a team. So for me, the bigger thing is, yes, you need to ban probably the Nidalee more than the Zed, because I think Golden Glue can handle that, despite how great Lod played. I think Coast just has to regroup themselves and understand this is a best of 3. You know, they're still in a chance to get a promotion spot, and they need to collect themselves and make sure they come out and bring their best, because this game, I think, is the most important in the series. So they got to bring their best.
Just to clarify, they're now moving into essentially a best of 3 out of the best of 5.
Yeah, I think he's right. The discipline really is what's going to make the big difference moving forward here.
All right. Now we've got to take another quick break, and when we return, it's Game 3 between Team Coast and Team LoL Pro, and a potential spot in the LCS hangs in the balance. Don't go anywhere.
Pinkboard goes. There's the absolute zero as well in Tidal Wave. They will take him down with the ulti, but he's getting revived now by Patoy. In comes the Zed. Golden Glue flashes out. Really big damage comes in as Yasuo does fall, though. That is now a dead Zillion of Patoy. The knockup. They get another one. Golden Glue cannot go down. He trades 1 for 1 with Heaven Time. Only Hans are alive. And Santorin going to make the dive on in. Mash gets the kill, but now both turrets are gone. This could be LoL Pro tying it back up. Can they do it? Very close to dead. Hunter is trying, and they defend it. But can it go down in time? 800 health on Zed. The shadow comes out. He picks up rocks. He's 6 attacks from the Nexus.
Is he gonna get it? He got it! Whoa! Yeah!